summer scholars, happy Tuesday, and welcome to the fourth subject of our summer scholars third grade, which is math. Now, math is a little bit like dancing. Anyone can do one dance move or two dance moves, but the real dancers, they know when to do the right moves, what order to do them in, and how to put them together into a cool dance routine. And that's the same as math. One of the hardest or trickiest parts about being a good mathematician is to know when to use addition, subtraction, division, or multiplication, and how to figure out what order to put those steps in. So today is all about multi-step word problems. So today I'm going to take you through 4 real-life examples of math problems that you might encounter. And some of you might have cameos in those math problems, so keep an eye out. Each problem is going to represent a real-life area where we use math all the time. We're going to do a math problem that involves money. Then we're going to do a math problem that involves time. Then we're going to do one that involves sports and games and dividing up teams. And finally, we're going to do a math problem that involves sharing things with a sibling or a friend. And to do these problems, I'm going to borrow a technique from Miss Suter for solving multi-step word problems. And that strategy is called C.U.B.E.S. Some of you might recognize cubes from a lot of the work we did this year. Do you remember what C.U.B.E.S stands for? It's okay. It took me a while to remember what C.U.B.E.S stood for too. Here's a quick refresher. C.U.B.E.S, C-U-B-E-S. The C stands for circling the numbers. The U stands for underlining the question. The B stands for boxing keywords. The E stands for evaluate and draw. And S stands for solve and check. We're going to go through each of those steps for the 4 problems. Let's see if we can get all these questions right. To help me solve these problems, you are going to need a pencil and a paper. Or a whiteboard if you have one. Anything that you can write on, that's going to work just fine. All right, my friends, so take a look at our first math problem involving 2 friends named Alan and Cam in a lemonade stand business that they're starting for the summer. Let's try to help them get paid exactly what they deserve. Let's read it together. Let's talk about money. 2 friends, Alan and Cam, are starting a summer lemonade stand business. They want to see how much money they can make over the weekend selling glasses of lemonade for $1 each. On Saturday, they sell 36 glasses of lemonade, and on Sunday they sell 19. On Sunday night, they split the money evenly between them. How much money do each of them make? So, I'm going to show you how I would solve this problem using the C.U.B.E.S strategy. But first, please try it on your own and see if you can figure it out without my help. So pause the video, get your piece of paper, and start trying to solve it. See how it goes. Then you can compare answers with me after you're done. Good luck. So, how'd it go? I hope that you were able to get an answer. Let's check and see if you were right. This is my first time using this online whiteboard, so just bear with me with my handwriting. Those of you who know me know that my handwriting is not my strongest attribute. So to start off, we're going to write cubes on the top of our paper. And then we're going to start going down the checklist of things we need to do. So C, if you remember, stands for circle. And we're going to circle all of the important numbers that we see. And the reason why we do this is usually in word problems, you're going to use almost every number that you see. So we want to make sure that we don't miss any numbers. So I'm going to circle $1. That's what they're selling the lemonade for. Then I'm going to circle 36 glasses and 19 glasses. Looks like those are the only numbers in our problem. So we're done with C. Then we want to underline. This is one of the most important parts in any math problem. We have to figure out what the question is that's being asked of us. So in this problem, it's pretty easy. We look at the end and it says, how much money do each of them make? That's the final question that we're trying to answer. So let's cross out underline. Then we have to box. The important part of boxing is figuring out which are the important words to know. So I'm going to read it over one more time. Two friends, Alan and Cam, are starting a summer lemonade stand business. I don't see anything super important there for math. They want to see how much money they can make over the weekend selling glasses of lemonade for $1 each. All right, so each glass of lemonade is $1. So that seems important to me. On Saturday, they sell 36 glasses of lemonade, and on Sunday, they sell 19. On Sunday night, they split the money evenly between them. So evenly sounds important to me because we want to make sure they get the same amount of money between the two of them. We want to make sure that Alan doesn't make way more than Cam and Cam doesn't make way more than Alan. Cool. So I think we're done with boxing. Now we want to evaluate and draw. Now we're not going to have to draw for every single problem, but a lot of times drawing comes in handy so we can visualize the problem. Let's actually make two boxes. One to represent each day of the weekend. So S-A-T for Saturday and S-U-N for Sunday. And we know on Saturday they sold 36 glasses. And on Sunday, how many did they sell? Yeah, 19. And I'm not going to label that because it takes forever. But you know that 19 stands for 19 glasses. And each of them sold for $1 each. So to do this properly, we probably want to multiply by $1. So we have 19 times $1, which equals, that's right, $19. And then we have 36 times $1, which equals, that's right, $36. Cool. Now, once we have $36 and $19, how do we figure out how much they made over the entire weekend? This is pretty simple. We just add them together to figure out how much money they made over the entire weekend. So $36 plus $19 is our next step. So 9 plus 6 is 15. Draw a 5, carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So over the entire weekend, it looks like they made $55. But remember, this is a multi-step problem. So each of them don't make $55. There's two people. So they have to split the $55 in two. And the operation that we use to do that is division. So 55 split two ways. Half for Alan and half for Cam. There's lots of ways that you could divide 55 into two groups. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take 55 and I'm going to split it up into a number that's easier to divide. So I'm going to split 55 up into 50 and 5. Then I'm going to divide 50 in 2, and then I'm going to divide 5 in 2. So 50 split right down the middle into 2 groups is 25. So far, Alan and Cam are each getting $25. And then we take the 5, and we have to split that in 2 also. And for this one, it doesn't split evenly into a dollar amount. So we have to use cents. So 2.50 into 50. Woo, okay. So each of them is getting $25 and $2.50. So 25 plus $2.50 is $27.50. And each of them is getting $27.50. So now we've evaluated and we've solved, but part of the S is checking our work. So the way that we'll know whether $27.50 is the right answer is we'll see if $27.50 plus $27.50 equals 55. And if it's right, that means we divided correctly. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 5 is 10. So we put a 0 and carry the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. And 8 plus 7, whew, that's a big one, is 15. Put a 5 there, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. So we know that we divided correctly. So it looks like our answer, $27.50 each, always want to label our answer, is right. How'd you do on that one? Did you do it a different way and get the same answer? If you did, that's great. I want to know how you did it. So come to me in office hours and we'll check over our answers together. All right, mathematicians, we've got another problem in front of us. Right now, instead of reading it together, I want you to try to read it on your own. Take out your pen and paper, see if you can do it, and then check back here after you're done, and we can compare our answers. Now that you've tried it, let me show you how I would go about doing this problem using the strategy cubes. I'm not getting any better at writing on this whiteboard. Let's talk about time. Ayana wants to go to her friend Mariah's house at 3 p.m., but has a long day of chores ahead of her before she can go. Right now it's 1 p.m., and she still has to help with the dishes, clean her room, and run errands with her family. She estimates that the dishes will take 20 minutes, cleaning her room will take 30 minutes, and running errands will take 40 minutes. It also takes 10 minutes to get to Mariah's house. Will Ayana make it to Mariah's in time? And what's the earliest time she can get there? So that's a pretty long problem, but let's break it down and see if we can simplify it using cubes. So step number 1, circle the numbers. So we have a lot of writing here in the beginning, but not a lot of numbers. I am going to circle the times because we're probably going to have to use those. So 3 p.m. is when she wants to get to Mariah's house. 1 p.m. is what time it is now. And then she gives estimates for how long her chores are going to take. Dishes will take 20 minutes. Cleaning her room will take 30 minutes. And running errands will take 40 minutes. And finally, it will take 10 minutes to get to Mariah's house. once she leaves the house. So we've circled everything we need to. Then we have to underline the question. And in this case, there is more than one question. The first question is, will Ayana make it to Mariah's in time? And then the second question is, what is the earliest time she can get there? So our answer has got to kind of be a two-part answer in order to answer all the questions. Then we're boxing. Let's see what the important things are to box here. So I don't know what you decided to box, but I don't see any really important math words that we need to box. There might be, I'm just not seeing them. So I'm going to skip that step for now. At office hours, if you want to show me which words you boxed to make sure that we understand the problem, I'd love to hear it. But I'm going to leave that blank for now. And then we can start evaluating and drawing. And there, again, are many ways to do this. I think a great way to do this is to use a timeline, because we're talking about time. So at the beginning of our timeline, I'm going to start at 1 p.m. because that's what time it is right now. And all the way at the end of our timeline is the time that we want to get to Mariah's house, 3 p.m. So we have to figure out if all of the chores and stuff that Ayana has to do can fit in that time, and to see how quickly she can get to Mariah's. So we can kind of do this in any order, but let's do it in the order that the problem gives it to us. So the first activity that we have to do is do the dishes. So let's draw a little hop here, and we'll call it dish. So if the dishes take 20 minutes, and we can start right at 1 p.m., 1 p.m. plus 20 minutes takes us to 1:20. Looks like we're doing okay on time. And then that's a 20-minute jump. Next, we have to jump another hop. And this time we're cleaning our room, and that's going to take 30 minutes. So we're starting at 1:20. We're hopping 30 minutes and cleaning our room. 1:20 plus 30 more minutes takes us to 1:50. And there are lots of little mistakes we can make in here, so that's why we're going to go back in the end and check. Right now I think it's going great though. Finally, we have to do another hop. A little bit bigger than the other ones, because we're running errands with our family. And I'm going to call that family here. So we need to figure out 1:50 plus another 40 minutes. Now this is probably where some of you might be tempted to make a mistake. But we know that there are only 60 minutes in an hour. So if we jump 10 minutes first, that takes us to 2 p.m. So 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. is 60 minutes. So we want to make sure that we don't add 40 and 50 and go to 190, because there's no time called 190. So jumping 10 gives us 2 p.m. And then we have to jump 30 more minutes to get to our answer, which is 2:30. So by the time Ayana's done with all her chores, it's already 2:30. But then we also have to get to Mariah's house. So we're going to do a small jump of 10 minutes, and that takes us to 2:40. So for this problem, that's really all you need to do for the math.
We'll say drive. So it's 2:40 p.m. Ayana's done with everything. Can she get to Mariah's on time? Yeah, she can. And I'm going to type this because it's better than writing at this point. So to answer the first question is yes. Ayana will I don't know if I forget, Ayana, if I capitalize that second A or not. If I'm doing it wrong, my bad. So yes, Ayana will make it to Mariah's on time. And when's the earliest she can get there? We just found that answer because we started right at 1 p.m. We did everything we needed to do. And then we drove to Mariah's. So the earliest we can get there is 2:40. And then we want to make sure it's still PM because that's important. Nice. So that's your answer. And again, it's easy to make mistakes on this kind of thing. So even teachers, we want to check our work. And a good way to check our work is to just go backwards. Start at 2:40, subtract all of the time that it took to do all of those things, and see if we actually get to 1 p.m. So you're probably going to do this a little slower because you're going to take your time. I'm going to quickly just do some mental math to figure out if we did this right. So 2:40 minus 10 minutes gets us to 2:30. 2:30 minus 40 minutes gets us to 1:50. 1:50 minus 30 minutes gets us to 1:20. And 1:20 minus 20 minutes gets us to 1 p.m. So based on my quick mental check, looks like our answer is right. I want to know what you got for this question, and I hope you were able to solve it even without my help. So nice job, everybody. We just solved a real-world problem using our C.U.B.E.S strategy.
So Mr. Roney completely forgot how long it took to do math problems correctly. So I know I said we were going to do 4 real-world problems on this video. I think I'm going to stick just to those 2 and let you try the other 2 problems on your own on our challenge task for today. And those problems are going to be similar to the ones we just did, but they're going to be about sports and games, and they're going to be about sharing things. And again, some of you might have cameos in those. So let's review what we went over today. We're talking about multi-step math problems, and we're using the C.U.B.E.S strategy. C.U.B.E.S is an acronym, and each letter stands for something. C stands for circle, the numbers. U stands for underlining the question. Really important step to answer the right question when we're doing multi-step math problems. B stands for boxing the important math words. E stands for evaluate and draw. And S stands for solve and check. So at the end of this lesson, you now have a pretty good strategy for doing multi-step word problems and something that you can practice on your own, both for our challenge task today and in real life. I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for helping me on those math problems. And go check out the challenge task to see if you can do the next 2 problems, and let's compare notes at office hours. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.